Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I went for an open water swim in preparation for a triathlon that I'm doing on the 28th of July, a sprint triathlon. So it's not the full distance, it's a 750-meter swim followed by a 20k bike ride followed by a 5k run. And I'm going to be honest, if today was the day of the triathlon, there's a good chance I could have died. Um, I'm not even joking about that. It's completely different swimming in open water, um, and with the wetsuit on and everything. It's completely different to swimming in a pool. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I could have died, and today's reflection is about humility. I thought, yeah, I'm not gonna prepare that much because I already haven't really prepared like that, and I don't really care about my time on this triathlon, to be honest. Um, Simply because my preparation for my A levels just took precedent for me, and so I already knew that I didn't really care about my time for this triathlon, and even though I had that mindset, it's a thing where had I gone into that open water swim for the first time on the actual day of the triathlon, things would have been very, very dangerous. I mean, that first 250 meters, it felt like I couldn't swim at all. Like just trying to, so when you're swimming, you're trying to keep your body as horizontal as possible, right? So that um, there's as little drag as possible, so you're more streamlined. But I was pretty much swimming vertically, because I just wasn't used to it, and yeah, no, that first 250, I would legitimately. There was a part where like, I thought, crap, am I gonna drown? Obviously, cool. I knew that this was my mind playing it up and my mind just being soft. Um, and I got through the swim, alhamdulillah. But if that 250 was times by three, there's a very strong chance that I could have drowned. And the point of me emphasizing this is that you need to be humble in that you cannot go into things thinking that, yeah, you can just be underprepared and that you can just try hard and it'll pull you through. If you have time, you've been given that time for a reason, use it to prepare as well as you can. Now, I'm still going into this triathlon with the mindset that I'm not too fussed about what time I get. As long as I complete it, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be happy. Um, because ultimately after this triathlon, I'm not gonna do too many of these sorts of events because I'm not gonna lie, I want to focus on building a body that is good for athletic performance and functionality. Um, and yeah, I'll still do open water swimming because I'm not gonna lie, I did actually enjoy it. I did another 250-meter lap, and other than the fact that my goggles were very cheap, um, so water kept getting into them, I actually got used to it, and swimming that 250 was a lot easier. And I think I could have even done the 500-meter lap, but it was safer to not risk it, um, especially considering how that first swim went. So make sure you stay humble. However, humility is shown in more than one way, which brings me on to what happened after I did the open water swim. So I didn't go on my own, I went with my brother and we went out to eat after that. After which we got an Uber back home, and this Uber driver, um, my brother and him had a very good conversation, just about the state of affairs of firstly the UK and then shifted onto Morocco, which is where he was from. And I just sat there and I listened. And if you are my age or you're younger, and you're sitting in on a conversation that people with more experience than you are having, don't be, obviously, if you have something to say, don't be nervous to say it, but do not come on a thing where your word is the most important. To be honest, I don't think you should do that in any conversation ever, no matter if you're talking to someone with less experience or more, because ultimately there's something to be learned from everyone. And if you're coming on a thing of you're just trying to get your points across, the conversation you're going to have isn't going to be as high quality and you're not going to learn as much as you could. So, as peak as it's going to sound, shut up every once in a while. Like, just shut up and listen. Because even though, yes, it might be annoying always being on the end that is listening and you're never saying anything, it's a thing where you just learn so much and you absorb. You just absorb so much information. We were talking about how the north of Morocco more so follows the deen of Islam, and then the south is more westernized, and that was because of the colonization of France. And that colonization of France spreads not only to Morocco but to other countries, for example Algeria. And he was talking about how if you're having a conversation with someone from Algeria, for example, after you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, the first words that are spoken after are ça va. And that just means how are you in French. And yeah, he was just talking about how the French generally they hate Islam, and when they colonized, they took away Arabic, and when you take away Arabic, Islam is not in the state that it was revealed to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in. And that conversation was very interesting, and to be honest, it actually made me appreciate why everyone tells me it's important to care about your culture. Because he was even talking about when he first came here, so he was around my age, he was 17 when he came here, and how Bengali people essentially helped him out. And it's important to know where you come from and your roots and that, because it enables you to connect with others. It enables you to connect with so many more people when you actually understand where you're from and what your people have done for others and what others have done for your people, because it gives you that ability to appreciate. And appreciation is, to be honest, the basis of our human interactions. If people don't get any sort of appreciation whatsoever, they'll go crazy. It's a necessity for us as people, and when you appreciate someone, they will appreciate you and they will give you so much, even though you didn't necessarily ask for it, just because you genuinely from the bottom of your heart appreciated them. And so having this knowledge of where you come from, it gives you another lens to appreciate someone from. And so that is why, to me, it is important to know about your culture and where you come from, but not even just yours, other people's as well, because it enables you to connect with them and appreciate where they've come from and how far their people have come. And again, when you appreciate them, they appreciate you. Our relationships as humans are very reciprocative, in that what one person shows, the other reflects. And for a long time, I actually struggled with understanding why it was important to learn about your culture. I was thinking, this doesn't help in any way whatsoever. It doesn't help you with anything, really. But all it does is just open the door to innovations with the religion and innovations with your way of life. So I don't really understand it, but now when you look at it from this lens, it makes sense. To me anyways. And especially for me, who I don't have a good experience with my culture in terms of the way people treat one another. Which is why I'm not gonna lie, Bangladeshi culture, Bengali culture, I don't like it. Neither have I ever wanted to understand it, because from what I know, there's not much good to come of it other than the food. But yeah, your perspective is not the only one that matters. So yeah, something I do actually want to do now, learn about different countries' cultures, so that I can connect with more people and learn more, and have an impact on more people and let them have an impact on me. Because the more people I can have an impact on, the more people I can spread Islam to. So at the end of the day, it will all come back to me, the day of judgment. And something he actually did say is that, I think it was an Islamic piece of knowledge. Not 100% sure if it is though. But I might have to change the angle. Oh no, I think they're just parking. Anyways, yeah. In that, for the kafir, this dunya is Jannah, and for the mu'min, this dunya, Jannah is in the akhirah. And when you look at it like that, if you're so kafir means disbeliever, mu'min means believer. So for someone who disbelieves in Islam, this life is all that is, and once this life ends, long day for them after that. But for the mu'min, it's not meant to be all sunshines and roses. It's not meant to be easy. This life is a test, and we will be rewarded in spades for our efforts here if we stick to Islam as closely as we can, and we praise Allah only, and we attest no partners to Him. So yeah, be patient. And even things like politics. So we started out talking a bit about the state of the UK. I'm not gonna lie, me even my brother, we don't really necessarily even care too much about the politics of the UK. However, if there are people who do, that's another lens that you can learn to appreciate them from. So it's important to learn about what others care about to an extent. Obviously, I'm not saying spend all your time learning about this and sacrifice the time that you learn about the deen just to learn about what others want to learn about. I'm not saying that at all. And the knowledge that will benefit you the most is obviously always going to be the knowledge of the deen. But it's important to put an effort in with other people, and you can do that both in your interactions with them and outside of them. And always come on a thing of humility. Don't ever think that your viewpoint is the most important, and always try and learn as much as you can from the other person. Anyways, yeah, I hope this gives you something. I'm gonna end it here. I don't really have much else. Yeah, if you have time to prepare for something, use it wisely, work as hard as you can. Like with anything, even if you're not necessarily too fussed about the outcome, still spend as much time as you can preparing for it, because you're gonna do this thing for a reason, so work as hard as you can towards it, and be humble. Again, be humble in the fact that you know you need to prepare. Be humble in the fact that you understand that your viewpoint isn't the most important. And with that, for me, all that is left to say is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I will see you later.